Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all doing well today. So today I am going to share with you guys what we have in our math cubby. So in our math cubby, I have put things that I have put together from Pinterest and things that I have bought for supplemental hands-on things for teaching math. Now these things you can use anywhere from first grade, I want to say until like 5th, maybe 6th for some of the fraction items. But I wanted to share with you guys, one of you mamas asked if I could share with you what we have in this cubby, and maybe it'll give you guys some ideas if you have a struggling math student or kiddo that just isn't grasping an idea. Sometimes using supplemental things or hands-on activities can help that. So, and it can make it more fun. So let me go ahead and jump right in and share with you guys what we have in this cubby. So if you guys saw our homeschool room tour, you saw a cubby that looked pretty disastrous, you guys, I would say. This is what it looks like. It is a little out of control. It looks like it is just thrown in there. But I have so many cool things in here, and I hope that you guys can find them useful. So the first thing I have is these fraction pieces that I purchased. I want to say I purchased some of them through Rainbow Resources, like these here. And then the ones that have writing on them, I purchased through the Dollar Tree. But these are really great for hands-on learning with fractions. I also have these place value discs here, and these are great for learning place values. I just picked up this little pouch from the Dollar Tree. It holds everything really nicely, and it's actually held together pretty good. So the next pouch I have here literally just has a bunch of these clothespins with coins attached to them, and then I have popsicle sticks with Velcro on them. And then I have these little cutouts of different amounts of money. So what I would do here is I would have my daughter pick up the 25-cent here. I would have her clip it onto here, and then she would match the 25-cent here. Now this can be used for any kiddo, maybe kindergarten, first grade. I can't remember if they learn this in second, but you can use this for however long your kiddo needs to understand change. So that is this manipulative. Next little bag I have of all these little planets with different numbers on them. I'll just pull out these. And what your kiddo would do is they would pick one of these, 10 minus 2. They would know it's 8. They would put it there. You'd have 12 minus 3 goes on 9. So it just helps them more of a hands-on, but they're still learning, they're thinking. You can have a timer going, you could count down, you can race them. However you would want to do it that you think that your kiddo would learn best. But this actually was really fun. My niece used it, and so did my daughter, and they had a lot of fun using these. You can print them out off of Pinterest without even laminating them. I just laminated them, but you really don't need to. Something else that I have in this cubby, they are all of our flashcards that we purchased through Becca. I want to say we purchased these in her second grade year or first, I can't remember. But we just have all of these different flashcards. The kiddos are basically past these, but I'm holding on to them for my son because he is going to need these. These are all place value cards. My daughter used these a lot. She didn't really use these ones too much. She did use this. And then here is first, second, third, fourth, and then what days they are. These are just numbers, and then we have these. And she did use these sometimes too. But those are the flashcards that we have in here. So the next thing we have here are these fraction flashcards, and Tally hasn't really used these yet. I don't know if my sister knows that I have them in here, but they have shapes word problems, and objects. So I'm pretty sure that we will use these eventually, but we have these. We also have this educational keyboard for multiplication, and so it has all of your multiplication families here up until 9 times 9, and when you press it down, the number shows through the white area. So that, my daughter used this a little bit and my niece has used it a little bit, but not a whole lot. Another thing that we have in here are these fun roll 4 in a row games. We have a fidget spinner game. We have this popsicle stick multiples. My daughter did actually use this. We have this multiplication bingo. And then we have this multiplication board game. So these are really fun when you're learning all of the facts. This one's really fun. My daughter and I played that one, and we played this one. We haven't played any of these this year, but I plan to, just to kind of get the multiplication facts really, really down. She gets them down and then she doesn't work on them for a while, and then she starts to forget, you know, so it takes her a little bit of time to remember. So I'm thinking we may work on that with Ari. The next thing we have here is multiply family charts. These my daughter used a lot last year. So it's just the different multiplication families, and they're like little puzzles basically. So at the beginning of the folder here, I have these little envelopes that have the different multiplication families. And so for 7, she would find the multiplication family of 7s. And then let me show you guys. So here's 7s, they're kangaroos. And then on the back, she would just find where these go, and she would put them where they go next to it. So she had a lot of fun with these, and she did them quite a bit. So this was a really cool one for her. Another thing that we have is this Fun Flap Fax Multiplication. We used, I would say, 5 of these maybe. We didn't do them all the time, but she did have fun when we did use them. Something else I purchased last year or the year before, I can't remember, is this See and Solve fraction calculator. We have not even opened this yet, but I plan we will use this one day for sure. Also have these math dice that we've used. So these are always fun, hands-on. What kid does not love rolling dice, right? So we also have these fraction discs that we use. We haven't used them in a while, but she did use them in the past. Another thing we have in here that we don't use all the time are just these flashcards. So money, telling time, multiplication. These, my daughter's passed. This, my daughter's pretty much passed. So I'm just gonna hold on to these. My niece still may use these ones. Another thing we have are these flashcards through Abeka. They're division flashcards. So we have all of these. And then we also have these flashcards through Abeka, and these are all multiplication flashcards. Okay, so these are our busy bags. So these are literally just plates that I cut out different color circles with different fractions. And so this is a great way to do a hands-on fraction activity with your kiddo. Okay, so this here is the place value thing that I just put together. This I bought from the Dollar Tree. But when you open this up, what I did was I wrote numbers out. So 2,314. So then what I needed her to do is she had to look through these and find that number, but written out. And once she found it, this isn't it, you guys, but I'm just giving you an example. She would do it like this and show me. And then I did the ones that are written out, and she had to write them or tell me what it was written out in number form. So we had these here, and all the kiddo would have to do is count. So this is 6, and they'd have to figure out which one it is, 5 cents, 6, or 8, and place a manipulative on top, where you can use a clothespin. You could do it however you want. They could just simply point to it if you guys wanted to. Another one is we have these little cutout coins, and all your kiddo has to do is count them. So there's 10, 11, 12, and then they would find the matching amount, and put it next to it like that for you. That's another really good one for hands-on. If you have your own change, you can use your own change and have them count the change and then have them write the change on a piece of paper or a whiteboard. Something else I did for my daughter when she was learning her Roman numerals is I had these little papers that I cut in half, and then she would have to match the number with whatever the Roman numeral number was. I mean, this isn't right, obviously, but I'm just showing you guys. So they're like little puzzles. So she would match the actual number with the Roman numeral number. Another thing I have here are these little multiplication sticks, and they are division sticks. So say you were working on multiplication, we have the popsicle sticks there, and then I have these clothespins with numbers on them as well. So what I would have Tally do is she would have to add this up, and she would just clip on the correct answer to it here, and then that is how we did it. Or we would flip it over if we were working on division, and then I would just have her place the little paper clip next to it. Super cheap. I think popsicle sticks are like $1. You can get clothespins for $1. So super cheap, affordable, and easy. Just write on it with a Sharpie or a marker, and there you go. You have a hands-on activity. So this one here, I just have some large popsicle sticks that I have multiplication or division on, and she would actually do her own problem. So say it was 7 times 4 is 28. We'll just say that this is 28, and she would put the answer there. So that is her own problem that she created on her own with having specific clothespins in front of her. So that made it pretty fun for her to figure out her own. Okay, you guys, so another one that I did was I have all of these paper clips. I'm sorry, not paper clips. Clothespins, and I wrote numbers on them, okay? And then I have these 2 popsicle sticks. They're the large popsicle sticks, and I did them as a multiplication problem or a division problem. And then what I wanted my daughter to do is I could either tell her like 5 times 4 is what, and she'd have to put, she'd have to put 5 times 4 is 20. Do we have a 20? And then that would be the answer. Or you can always choose different problems. Like for instance, we know that that's 20, so we're going to keep that. So we can always do 3 times 7 is 21. So for instance, we can have this out on the table, and they would have to put they would have to figure out different problems using these numbers in front of them. So we would have them mixed up, so then they have no idea what we're doing here. But for instance, they can find 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, so you can do it all different ways, and you do the same concept using the division stick as well. So the last thing I have to share with you guys is this little clock, you guys. My daughter used this so much. You can tell we had to tape it. It was pretty cool because you could write and then it erases. I want to say we purchased this from the dollar store or maybe on Amazon. I honestly cannot remember. I don't think they have this at the dollar store. I think it was through Amazon. But the little hand and the big hand moves. It shows the minutes here and the hours, and it has color coding. She did really well with this. So hopefully you guys can find this. I will try to link something in my Amazon store for this, but I'm not quite sure if I will be able to find it. Alright you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see you on my channel. Please be safe, be blessed, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars,